Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball.
Tuesday, May 19th at 10:30 a.m., it's morning baseball. Wednesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m., have a pawsome time at Bark in the Park. Thursday, May 21st at 6:30, it's Pride Night with $5 Bud or Bud Light draft beer. Individual game tickets start at just $12.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats. The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are picking up from where we left off this morning, the midnight show. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us live this hour, 800-848-9222. I'm looking at my Twitter, looking at my ex, Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island, posted this. The men praying outside of that Jewish all-girls school, the Muslim men that is a signal saying who the boss is. They have no respect at all for the Jewish community, no matter what sector it is. It is the agenda of Gracie Mansion, end of story. She says, this is Debbie Lebedo. As I said once before, Dominic, Mamdani made it in to create a movement. His anti-Semitism, along with his wife, are creating anti-Muslim situations. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they say. I don't agree with violence, but this is what he has created. America, New York, is starting to stand up slowly to its socialist mayor. For example, in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, yesterday.
Stop! Mamdani! Stop! Mamdani! Stop! Mamdani! Stop! Mamdani! Stop! Mamdani! Stop!
And so in that nice weather, folks were outside on the beach to protest against the mayor. We'll come back to Mamdani and all that has happened in just the last 48 hours and then the last week. Let's go to the LIRR strike continuing. Governor Hochul.
Unions, you're invited back in. Okay, here's my official invitation. We didn't want you to leave. You left. You are welcome to come back. I'll provide refreshments, whatever you like. Just come on back. This is important to show that we have partners who are willing to get to a resolution to this because it's hurting their members as well as our commuters.
And the head of the transportation system for our area also commenting, and that's Jano Lieber, and he's urging the union to come back to the table.
It'll take a little time for people and equipment to get where they need to go. We need to do, federally required inspections of equipment, especially trains, in order to clear them to be used. But whenever we get the deal done, we think that more or less the next day is the day where we can run the Long Island Railroad system properly, and we're trying to be ready for that scenario.
And so get the trains running. It's that simple. But folks, it does not help the union. And I guess this is why stories like this leak, where you have about 10 union members that are making $200,000 a year in overtime alone. It just defies logic. But you know what? And let's go ahead and officially open up the phone lines, 800-848-9222. Congressman Randy Fine of Florida, appearing on Newsmax, talking about Mamdani and making an excellent point, which is, how did we get to the point? And this is not just about New York. This is the nation. How did we get to this point where socialists described as Democrats, or perhaps we should say communists described as socialists, described as Democrats? How did we get to this point? Listen to Congressman Randy Fine.
Well, it's crazy. I mean, look, we have a huge problem in this country where we've allowed tens of millions of the wrong people in. I mean, frankly, there's all of the illegal immigrants. That goes without saying. But even on the legal immigrant side, you look at people like Zoran Mamdani, who hate this country, who we allowed in legally and frankly gave citizenship to. I believe we not only need our border sealed, we not only need to deport every single illegal immigrant, but we need to denaturalize and throw out a lot of people, and we need to stop letting more in. So this is important, and I'm all in for it.
1,000%.
Indeed. Ditto, that is, 1,000%. So I was greatly annoyed early this morning that Mamdani issued a statement about just one Muslim man who was apparently praying, and an egg was thrown at this man. Mamdani released a statement as the mayor. One man, an egg thrown at him. Released a statement, but he's Muslim. Released a statement as the mayor of New York, informed us that the hate crimes division of the NYPD is investigating. But yet, when it's an entire Jewish community, crickets, nothing, de nada, from the city's mayor. He has nothing to say. When a group of Muslim men go stand on the sidewalk of a Jewish female high school and do their prayer, something is wrong. Something is wrong. And I'm going to say something that may not be politically correct, but it's the truth. How did we get to the point where people think they can have open prayer on the streets of New York City or anywhere in America? Who do you think you are? What makes you think you're entitled to that? And so this is a woman upset outside the Jewish female school that about 12 men were lined up on the sidewalk right outside the school, Muslim men, praying.
This is the front of the Jewish school, high school. Do you see what's happening here? Because there's no mosque in the area to do this in front of. You have to do it in front of a Jewish school. Nice, right?
Grown men praying in front of a girls' Jewish high school. 800-848-9222. What is Mamdani doing? He was in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx, where the Spofford detention center used to be, announcing one of his dumb socialist ideas that's going to run the city further bankrupt, in terms of he plans to open one of these city-owned grocery stores in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx, 200,000 square foot venue. And this is part of his plan to open 5 city-run grocery stores, the mayor of New York.
Of city-owned grocery stores, 1 in each borough. In these stores, prices will be cheaper. Workers will be paid fairly and treated with dignity. Going to the grocery store will no longer cause that same anxiety for so many New Yorkers. Now, on April 13th, we announced the first site, La Marqueta en el Barrio. And in doing so, honoring the legacy of Fiorella LaGuardia, who opened a site close to 100 years prior with the same mission of delivering cheaper goods to New Yorkers. Today, my friends, I am so proud to announce that the Bronx location will be here at the Peninsula. And New Yorkers will not need to wait long for costs to drop. This store will be the first of the 5 city-run grocery stores to open.
Right. And you know what's so sad about the crowd cheering? It's the blind leading the blind. They really believe this man that he's going to deliver free. I don't want to insult anyone, so I'm going to cut my comment short there. But these are these are people that are new to the voting system that frankly don't know what they're doing. Let's start with your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Terry, line 4, Maryland. Terry, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. First-time caller, and it is an honor to speak with you.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to follow up on something you were talking about last night, and I know you touched on it again today, which is the Muslim who was hit with an egg during prayer. And I agree with you 100%. That wasn't right. However, when New York City's finest were chased down and pelted with snowballs filled with ice,
thank you,
Mamdani said not a word. He said, all I saw was a snowball fight.
Yep.
Where was his outrage then?
Yep.
I don't understand it. You know, October 7th, when Jews and Americans were kidnapped, tortured, slaughtered, raped, and his wife gave her nod of approval on TikTok. He made excuses for her. She's a private citizen. She more or less can say whatever she wants. But he didn't denounce a thing. So I don't understand. Well, I do understand where this double standard comes from. The hypocrisy is just breathtaking to me. And from the outside looking in, it just breaks my heart what is happening up there. You know, we have our own problems here in Maryland. And, I was born and raised in Baltimore. And I hate what's happened to our beautiful city. So, that's all I wanted to say is that, Mamdani picks and chooses, whose side he wants to be on. And I think we fully understand which side that is.
Yes. And Terry, I couldn't have said it better than what you just did. Thank you for the wonderful call. I hope that you engage with us in the future. We need callers like you. Thank you very much. So here is the bottom line. Let me be a bit more blunt, if I may. Mamdani, do you think New Yorkers care that one Muslim man praying was hit with an egg and you issue a statement and here comes the NYPD or an entire group of people under attack and you say nothing? Which one do you think New Yorkers care about? Do you think we care about your comrade that got hit with an egg while praying? I'm not saying it's right, it's wrong. But it doesn't warrant a statement from the mayor of New York City unless the mayor of New York City has a hidden agenda that is just starting to bubble out. It's just starting to bubble up and bubble out, and he can't contain himself anymore. Or maybe this was part of his plan all along. Wait 5-6 months and then show his true colors, right? Cyndi Lauper, I believe, with that song, True Colors, I believe. Yes, I'm told yes. That's Mamdani's theme song, True Colors. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter.
Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, Mamdani, don't show your true colors, and no, hell no, we don't love you. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. Utterly disgusting. One Muslim man, apparently gets hit with an egg, while praying. Mamdani issues a statement on a Sunday evening and says the hate crimes unit of the NYPD is investigating. Well, Mayor Mamdani, how do you know it's a hate crime? How do you know it wasn't something, a dispute between two people? How do you know? So one man gets hit with an egg, it's the end of the world. An entire community is under attack by your friends, Mamdani, and you say peep, nothing. You, your racist wife, and your anti-Semitic dad, nothing. But one Muslim man gets hit with an egg, it's the end of the world while praying. I don't think so. Let's go to line 5, Robert in North Carolina. Robert, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Muslims should go to mosques to pray. Every religion knows what time it is, when the services are to be held. And if they need a reminder, a text could be sent to them instead of this call for prayer, which is broadcast throughout the community.
Robert,
these people...
I'm with you 1,000%.
These people are disturbing the neighborhood by praying wherever the heck they feel like it.
And think they have a right to do so. At the inconvenience of everyone else. And if you even question it, you're Islamophobia. If you even question it. And I mean, so, hey, Robert, the mayor issuing a statement about this one man, what does that say to you?
That he will consider anything against Muslims as a hate crime, possibly.
Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to Shirley, line 4 in Brooklyn. Shirley, what's on your mind?
Hello. So I just wanted to call because I was actually there at that real estate event that was last week.
Okay.
And then this week, it seems like every week there's like a new thing, and having people to pray outside the school. And as far as I understand, the school is physically next to where they can pray, but I don't really understand. It hasn't been explained why they were praying outside. They can fit inside. You know, as Orthodox Jews, the men, and also some of the women, when we go to pray at our synagogue inside, sometimes it's such a small space. Sometimes it's like a small basement space. We just make room. So I don't understand. And the other day I was walking in Manhattan, and there was just a guy there praying, and it didn't smell nice. It wasn't clean. I don't know why you would pick a spot that's not, nice and clean, and like so you can have good thoughts when you're praying. But
Shirley, I'm with you. I just have to take a hard break. I do apologize. It defies logic, and I don't care who told you you have a right to do this. You don't. This is New Weather, York, not your personal playground. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And so that's from CNN. So much their independent polling. So much for the idea that Americans are against using IDs to vote, and that it's a violation of civil rights and the civil rights movement, and on and on. Let's continue with your telephone calls. Our delightful mayor of New York City, and to America, this is a lesson for you of what not to do. Stay away from the socialists, because Mamdani, with his pretty boy smile, 5-6 months in, is showing his true colors. Let's see here. Let's go to Julie, line 4, New Jersey. Julie, good afternoon. What's on your mind?
Dominic, I just wanted to say, this reminds me of when Michelle Obama sort of said she was shopping at, I think it was a Target, and someone asked her for help to get something off the shelf. And she turned it into, well, just because I'm black, she thinks that I work in a store and, you know, that I'm there for, you know what I'm saying? Like it's stereotyping.
Oh, I hear you. And to be honest with you, with all due respect to the former First Lady, she's got some issues. And she's got some anger problems. And frankly, I think she's got some racial problems. But that's on her. That's not on us. That's Obama's problem, the former president. That's his issue dealing with his wife. But I hear you, Julie. What do you think is going on with the mayor of New York, in your opinion?
What we all thought before he was voted in, the same thing. He's, you know, a socialist. I think he's running businesses out of New York so he can have his people move in just like in London. So, yeah, that's what I think.
Okay,
Thank
fair
you,
enough.
Dominic.
Thank you, Julie. I want someone to explain to me. I know that every now and then out on Eastern Parkway, Jewish leaders may hold a prayer outside, a large prayer, but it doesn't, it'll inconvenience the community for a little bit of time, and that's it. This, and you can say Islamophobia all you want. Where do you think you have a right to ring these loud bells? I'm not going to refer to the music that you're playing as creepy, but I think I just said it, okay? And you think that everybody's supposed to be cool with this. I don't think so. Who do you think you are, and where do you think you are? This is not your country where you came from. Yes, if you're an American now, if you're a Mamdani or his racist wife, then yes, you're an American. Okay, don't get me wrong on that. Okay, let's go to Jackie, line 4, New Jersey. Jackie, what's on your mind?
Hi there, Dominic. Thanks for taking my call. Give me a second here while I gather my thoughts. But you're talking about Mayor Mamdani, and we keep asking, you say this defies logic. Why this hypocrisy? Why can't they pray inside? How can they focus on one man getting hit with an egg when we know that there is vile, humiliating, terrifying anti-Semitism going on throughout the city? And the thing is this, Dominic, and I really, this comes from a place of having to learn this over the last couple of years. This hand-wringing that we do and these questions that we ask, that it does not defy logic. There is a logic. These are all the hand-wringing we do. It's like a form of denial. It's marinating in this outrage where we say, why, what, why isn't anyone? The fact is that it's a lack of acceptance, the double standard, the dehumanization, the spotlighting, is that there's no taking action. This is all part of the larger message. This is all part of the humiliation. This is all part of saying, Jews, you are going to be terrified. We don't care about you. We're going to do what we want. It doesn't defy logic, Dominic, if you accept, if we look at it and we say to ourselves, finally, as I have had to do as a Jewish woman, say to ourselves, finally, it doesn't defy logic. Don't wring your hands. You have to accept reality. Acceptance means looking at something for what it really is and saying, okay, what am I now going to do about this? Because that is essentially where we are. And if you know the answers to your own questions, Dominic. You know the answers to every question you ask, and I know the answers too. So the question to us is, we have a Jew-hating Judenhass mayor, and he is making life miserable for us, and he is flaunting that, and we are just wringing our hands and marinating. That's not going to help us. So the question is, what do we do? We know the truth. We don't have to say it's illogical. We know that it's part of the plan. It's part of the humiliation. It's part of terrifying us. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do as individuals and as a community, as a polity? What are we going to do? Because if I just wring my hands and feel like a victim and get angry, then I'm just going to decompensate. I'm just going to be angry, and that anger is not going to go anywhere. I've got to do something positive. I'm going to the Israel Day Parade. I've never done that before. I'm marching with the group of SAR-L. We are people who volunteer for Israel. I have dedicated myself to volunteering for the Jews and for Israeli people to support them in this time of need. And I also want to say that when I've done this, I have been overwhelmed and astonished at these places I go to volunteer. There are people coming from all over the world who are not Jewish and who are not evangelical. They're just good people coming from everywhere in the world and saying, I see what's happening and I have to do something. And I can't tell you how much that has meant to me to see this. It just, what I felt, being with other Jewish people is one thing, but seeing how 30-40% of the people in our group, they said, oh yeah, I'm from Italy, I'm from Spain, I'm from Holland. It's like, and why are you here? Are you Jewish? No, I'm not here. Are you religious? No, I'm here to help people because I see a terrible injustice. And I thought, wow, it warmed our hearts. But the thing is, we have that ability. We just have to do it. Each and every one of us really has to do it. And this comes from a place of after October 7th, I was in my room, lights out, not contributing anything, scrolling through the news. And it took it took my husband and son to say to me, you can't live like this. You're not helping anybody like this. And that was the truth. So I have to face the truth. And, there's a wonderful article. It's by, if you don't mind my saying it, it's by a man called Avi Lewis. And he wrote an article called Dear World, I Don't Care. And it was about how we wring our hands and we try to contribute and we try to give to the world and we try to prove how good we are as Jewish people. And in the end, it doesn't matter. So now I have to accept that. I have to accept that hatred exists, and I have to turn my attention with all my heart and soul toward helping my people and helping good people everywhere in the United States who are being victimized by this kind of, not just against the Jews, but all the crime that these horrible crimes that are being committed also by illegal migrants and then being set loose on the streets. We must turn our attention strong toward doing something about this. That's where our attention has to go. But I no longer say it's illogical. I no longer say that I don't understand it. I no longer wring my hands. I accept it. I know who he is. I know what he is, and so do you.
Right. Well, Jackie, thank you for your comment. I don't want you to get upset. Try and not let it get to you. Of course, I know what he is and who he is. I saw him a million miles away. Frankly, this is why I'm so upset at 7%. What you just said is exactly why I'm livid at 7%. Because 7% thought this was a game. As long as he can shine in the media world, that's all that counts. Now he's running with his head between his legs, hiding out, and the rest of us are left to fix his mess. And Mamdani would have lost this election. And this is why I say, Jackie and everyone else, you can say whatever you want about Cuomo. And I probably would agree with you on much of it. The senior citizen stuff, disgusting, horrible. The sexual harassment allegations, not his finest hour. His lawyers subpoena issued for GYN records of the women, not his finest hour. But we wouldn't be in this situation. So Jackie, please just do me a favor, hold your head high. So Jackie, I'm not one to run away from anything. And thank you, Jackie. Please hold your head high.
Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you, Jackie. I'm not telling you folks what to do. But if it were me, every time a Muslim group disrespected a Jewish group by praying in front of a school on the sidewalk of a school, I would have a group go pray right in front of the mosque. and I would force Mamdani's hands because you know he'd want to have you arrested on the spot. But if you call his hand, there's certain things he can do and can't do as mayor. So he can't have one group of people praying arrested while he let his own people walk totally. Here's what Jackie's correct about. If you don't stand up to this guy, he's going to steamroll you. And again, 7% is somewhere hiding after he sold 7%, sold all of us out. This was his time to get even for the world, even with the world, with the horrible advice and advisor closest to him. You should never have listened to anything that advisor had to say to you. Look at you now, 7%. And we're stuck to clean up your mess that you, 7%, created. And you won't even criticize the guy. You won't even criticize Mamdani. You completely sold out. Erica, line 3, Upper West Side. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Thanks so much for taking my call. I just also wanted to do a shout out. I love it when, I guess it's Judith from Brooklyn calls in. She always says something intelligent, and I love your show. My point is, I find it very menacing when a bunch of Muslim men are praying in front of an all-girl Jewish school. There is a book out called Easy Meat. It takes place in London. It's about a bunch of Muslim men who befriend and then wind up raping and making drug-addicted English girls. Now, that is a girls' school, and they are a bunch of men. They have no business there. As to your suggestion, praying in front of a Muslim place of worship, I think that's a great idea. That's all I have to say, but I do find that menacing. They shouldn't be doing that.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the call, Erica. Let's see here. Let's go to Pamela, line 4, New Jersey. Pamela, what's on your mind?
There's something very strange going on because I was leaving the post office last week, and I went to get into my vehicle, and next to me, the passenger side door swung open, and there was an older Muslim woman, and she sits side saddle, and she starts praying with her eyes closed. And I'm like, excuse me, I had to get in my car. And she ignored me, and of course, maybe she was deep in prayer, and I had to say it 3 more times, and then she just, gave me a look and went back in the vehicle, and I'm like, wow. Now, I've lived amongst Arabs very long time. I live in that part of New Jersey where there are a lot of Arabs, and I've never had that happen before, anything weird like that happen. And something's going on. I think they're being kind of told. I know they have to pray to Mecca. They have to position themselves in a certain way on the carpet or wherever they are. But I've never seen that.
Pamela, I don't mean to be insensitive here. I don't care who you're praying to. I'm sorry. You don't have a right for your convenience to inconvenience everybody else. I don't care who you are, and I don't care who you're praying to. You don't have that right to do that. Pamela, I got to take a break. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I'm late for a break. We see all the calls. I've just had it. I'm tired of zipping my lips.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. And now it's time for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Folks, and again, to a degree, I've been pulling my punches, right? But I'm not going to do it right now. So when Dinkins had been the mayor of New York City, I believe, for a short period, Giuliani was running, and the police were not happy with their contracts, or something happened. Within a matter of hours, days, there were 10,000 cops protesting at City Hall. Folks, it's hard to argue against numbers. Mamdani is taking your silence as compliance with his agenda. So he's taking your kindness as weakness. You have got to show him that you mean business. Dominic, what are you talking about? 3,000 people protesting in front of Gracie Mansion. You've got to show him numbers because, believe me, he's not playing with you. Look at his agenda. And I'll say again, this is why I'm so angry with 7%. I begged him not to run privately. I told him repeatedly, you have no chance in hell of ever being elected mayor of New York. But he didn't listen. And I'm going to be honest with you. Those of you that voted for Mr. Sliwa, you ought to be ashamed of yourself because you put Mamdani in office. Those of you that wasted your vote on Curtis Sliwa with all his antics, you put Mamdani in office. So you don't have a right to complain about anything. Let's continue with your telephone calls. Let's go to Harold, line 4, Florida. What's on your mind?
Well, let me get you on. Sorry.
No. If you're not ready, I'm moving on. Let's go to Larry, Staten Island. What's on your... Folks, if you call and you're on speaker, I'm moving on. Larry, Staten Island, line 1. What's on your mind?
Dominic, are you eating a carrot sticks or celery sticks and working out?
Okay, Larry, wait. We're talking about serious things, Larry, and you want to talk about diet?
Well, I'm telling you opened this club last week.
Okay, but we're talking about... But Larry... Right now, we're talking about a city's survival. We're talking about a man in City Hall that, by all indications, appears to be anti-Semitic, and this is the leader of the city, and you want to talk about celery?
No, I don't want to talk about celery, Dominic. I want to talk about an issue that was prevalent last week on your show.
Okay, but I'm going to say it for the last time, Larry. We're talking, there's a time for play, and then there's a time for serious issues. This is a time right now for serious issues. Do you have anything serious to say?
What, Dominic?
Do you have anything serious that you want to talk about?
Yeah, you got to get out and protest. And I got to say one thing I observed is that I've never seen so many protests against the mayor after residents of Gracie Mansion than I have in the last 3 months. Nobody used to go up there to protest. They always take them downtown, but it seems that people are not gravitating up to...
Wait. You said nobody should go up there to protest? I don't understand.
No. They didn't. In years gone by, they didn't. Now they're protesting there.
Right. And that's the way it should be. Thank you for the call, Larry. We can talk celery another time. Let's go to Randy, Manhattan, line 3. What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. How are you today?
I'm good. Please, I'm rushing for time. Go ahead.
Okay, SJP was outside my hotel. I had to deal with them face to face.
Wait, who was outside your hotel? I didn't understand what you said. Who was outside your hotel?
Palestine. The same people that Mamdani started his organization with in Bedoin. His ties to CARE and all the Islamists.
I got 10 seconds left. Please get to your point.
All right, my point is 10,000 Jews at Gracie Mansion. Shake the gate.
Okay, well, thank you for the call. Folks, America's heroes need your help now. Do good in their honor by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers, and you can amplify your impact. Go to T2T.org, T2T.org. I'm back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?